Rich with Rich Baum Photography, Sacramento, California. I said I'd be here at 4 o'clock Pacific time, and it's 4:04, so I'll take it. Anyway, I was out doing something else, and I'm like, oh boy, I gotta get back here quick. As you can see, this is about Godox, Flashpoint, and Cheetah, also Neewer, because these are all rebranded Godox lights. And I honestly, I think that they're all about the same. I mean, really, they're the exact same things, devices, but just rebranded. I think if you buy something from Cheetah or from Adorama, it's better because it's easier to deal with your warranty issues. Because as we all know, we're finding out that it's tough to deal with the Chinese stuff. I'm going to hook up to my phone. I'm videotaping with my iPad today because I didn't get good enough signal with my phone. I don't know why that is, but I figure we'll be here for about an hour, and I'd certainly like to go over everything because I've gotten a lot of people. I've been referring people to go to Godox, and again, Godox is the same as Flashpoint, is the same as Neewer, is the same as Cheetah. So when I say Godox, if you bought it from Adorama, it's the same thing. So please, bear with me there. Anyway, I figure we'd do a little bit of going through each light, and I'm going to answer some questions because I see so far we've got a few people coming on board. But let me just see how I can go to see what I'm putting out. I'm trying this right now. Okay. I'm going to go and turn down the volume. There we go. Okay. Hey, Wayne. Wayne, ladies and gentlemen, Wayne Capelli is in the house. He is, I don't know if it's Capelli or Capili. Anyway, Wayne is one of the top photographers in the business, and he lives in California like me. But Wayne is responsible for so much of the good vibe that goes into the whole real estate forums, the groups. Great guy, impeccable work. Nobody does anything better than Wayne, and I'm not just tooting him up. But Wayne, man, right on. Great to see you. What I want to do is somebody please post a question so I can see it come up, so I'll be able to read it here before I get started. And Wayne is a newcomer to the whole Godox thing. Wayne has been kind of a lot of equipment, paring the way down, and just, I guess he saw the value, and I hope he's going to chime in here, the value of going with something a little bigger. I mean, right here you can see we've got the speed light, which is just like the Young Nuos. We have the 360, which is very different though. The reflector, it produces, I mean, look at the difference. That's a big deal. This is producing a much bigger area of light. It's also a different type of light. And then we have the bad boy, but it's 600 watts and watt seconds, and I'm not saying this can compete with a B1 for $2,000. I think they're great. I would love a B1, a Profoto B1, but I can't afford it. So anyway, this is the other size. So you even see you have the reflector here and the reflector here. So we have bigger areas of light coming out. And that's a real big thing. It's not only power, it's space. It's light is a spatial thing. And I am going to preface this by saying I'm not the expert on light. I'm not the expert on anything to do with that. Hey, Fred. Gosh, I'm under big pressure. We got Fred Light here. Okay, good. Fred or Wayne, put up a question for me so I can make sure that I see it here, so I can reply to it. I'm looking at my phone. Okay. Anyway, so we're talking about different amounts of power. There's different ways of people want to know, well, how much more powerful is this than this, or this than this? Well, they have different ratings, and I can't really get into that because I'm not really educated or informed on that. You know, I'm going to turn this on because it looks kind of cool. There we go. There you go. It has nice light. And I'm going to tell you why I like this more than the end flash in a minute. So what it really is it's difficult to say, okay, what are you doing on the phone? Wayne, okay. So I can see that the questions are coming in. I don't need to answer that. I'm just going to be using my phone so I can see. I can't see the screen way back there. So I'm going to answer questions as they come up. So anyway, I want to know where to begin with this whole thing. So I have been shooting, I was Nikon for years. I bought into the Pocket Wizard Flex system because it had high-speed sync and it had TTL, through the lens metering. And that was important for me shooting weddings and doing what I did. I had also the Flex system, but I also had the regular Pocket Wizards. And man, these were the shit back in the day. These were the things back in the day, and that's what we used. But China came along, and I really think that Professor Trump should have a conversation with that, because all the business went over to China. Look at me. It's all Chinese. And who knows, Pocket Wizard might be Chinese too. But the bottom line is the Flex system, the Flex TT5 was $229 when I bought it. Now, you can get it all built in, all of these now, except the Streaklight, where I have a new one coming. I bought for the Black Friday or one of those days last week. I spent way too much money. But I got the TTL version, which has the flash, has the receiver built into it. So I will go over that. And I just found that using these big lights has really, really made me more efficient. It's a little more weight, a little more space, a little more money, I will say. But you know what? Compared to the Pocket Wizards and then going Nikon, my last Nikon flash, a 910, was $550. I mean, God. And how many I broke falling over in I used to do SB 800s. I still believe in SB 800s though. I still use them. Great flashes. And all these Chinese flashes, I mean, if you have young Neewer, you know, you always have a backup, because they're not going to last. They're going to fail, whether or not they fall or just they die. You're going to do it, but they're replaceable. They're expendable. So don't worry about the price of these things. You may think that $179 is a lot for a TTL flash, but it's really not. It's really cheap. They're all built in, so you don't need triggers, and they're nice and streamlined. You don't need to have a trigger. I used to Velcro everything onto. I still do. All my Nikons have Velcroed on Pocket Wizards, but I'm tired of that. The other thing too is these triggers. Man, these things, you can adjust them, and I'm going to go over each one specifically. You can adjust them to do what you want to do. So I've really kind of played out this whole, I'm gone to Godox. And I think though, my point here is I've had a lot of people really asking about how can I incorporate my old stuff with my new stuff. So I'm going to go into that in a minute. And right now I'm just going to go over each light. Okay. I'm going to go over this light first. This is the Cadillac of the Godox. And again, Flashpoint, Godox, Cheetah. This is a Flashpoint, and this is the Zoom Zoom! Anyway, I don't know why they call it zoom. I think it's kind of stupid, but anyway. The zoom is the same as, and I don't know what the Godox, I think it's the 860 something. You know what? I can't even keep up with it. So here's the deal. This is got TTL through the lens metering for Nikon. They're all specific, but they all will work in manual. That's the one thing. All of these lights will work together on any camera, and the triggers too. But the triggers, here's the other one. Here's the X1 Godox. I'm going to come up here and show you. These two triggers are, they're about what you're going to get. I mean, this is what you need. They're 2.4 gigahertz. And the difference is, and I'll go into it later, one has TTL functionality, and one has the XT32 Flashpoint. Adorama has it. It's another, I don't know what it's called, but it's the same thing, exact same trigger, just a different branding. But this only has high-speed sync, and this has TTL and high-speed sync. But the difference is, this is a made for Canon. They have not released anything other than for Canon. Now that worried me, and I'll tell you in a minute why I went with this. And I also have a video on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, why I go with this for real estate photography, because of the screen. But they both work on any camera. You just need to put this one on single pin mode, and it's in your instructions. And God knows I don't want to have to help anybody, because I got a lot of people calling me or sending me emails about this. But this XT32, it is made for Canon, but it works on my Sony camera. Where the heck is that guy? Here he is. It works on the Sony camera. I just don't have high-speed sync, and that's okay, man. I don't need high-speed sync or TTL for real estate photography. My buddy Michael, who might be coming on, said that he uses high-speed sync. I'm sorry, he uses TTL for real estate photography, but I don't understand it, and I don't want to even go there. But I just use manually, fully manual. So this one on top of here is what I use for real estate photography. Anyway, whoops, there goes a flash. So I'm going to start with, let me just start with the flash that everybody's been getting, and I've been recommending, and of all these flashes, this is the one I recommend for price point, for quality, for use, for everything. This is the best flash that I am now using 100% of the time. This is my main flash. I am not using a speed light anymore. I actually use these two lights, and that's about it for 90% of my real estate. And I say real estate, quotes, real estate photography. It's all, this is it, because it is, okay, it's bigger, that is true. It's heavier. It's not it's not unbelievably heavier, but it is 2 to 3 times. I'm just going to say, I'm not even going to really push the issue, and I'm going to be conservative here. This is 2 times more powerful than a speed light. I'd honestly say it's 3 to 4 times more powerful, but the guide numbers that I tried to get into earlier before I got, I went off on some other tangent. The guide numbers are a way to justify or to understand the power of these lights. But all I can say is I've done some testing, and my testing is kind of good, but kind of inconclusive. So I'm just going to say that this is a light that is a heck of a lot more powerful than this. Also, again, this is what we're talking about. This is bigger than this. And it's wider, and by the way, before anybody comments, I have the diffuser panel here, which maybe takes a half a stop off. I have it for protection of the darn bulb. There you go. Okay, and this is I'm jumping ahead of myself, but this is what's called a bare bulb unit. And there we have, let me go here. There you've got bare bulb unit, and we have a reflector right here. And this, I think this is 6 inches. Anyway, I think that it is great. It just gives, and I come from, okay, I'm digressing back anyway. I come from quantum lights, and quantum was the shit, was the ticket back in the day. They made lights almost identical to this, and they're probably rolling over and dying as we speak because they were very, very expensive. The batteries, and now I use the Cheetah. I've always used this Cheetah battery. Edward over at Cheetah, you rock. But the Cheetah battery was so much cheaper and so much more reliable than the quantum battery. Not more reliable, but cheaper, and it was so much better. So I went with this light to replace my quantums mainly. And this is the only reason I really did it, mainly because I can adjust them remotely with my trigger. And that is a huge deal because my quantums, I never went with the quantum wireless system. I went with this is a wireless and it's cheap. And I'm going to go into this. So I'm going to stay with this light for a second. So this is the Streaklight 360, and it can go this way, it can go this way. You do need to push the button, which is kind of a drag because the Quantum T2s, you could just move them anyway. So this is here. Now, this is a manual Streaklight 360. I just ordered for the holidays. I just ordered the full TTL version, which has TTL high-speed sync, and it also has a built-in receiver. Now I want to go over this a second for you guys. This is just Velcro. I used to put on a Pocket Wizard here. So anyway, this is the transmitter. I'm sorry, this is the receiver. And all of these lights, the 600, all of the speed lights, everything is on 2.4 gigahertz. That's a big deal because everybody's going, oh, what am I getting? And the manual one came with, hold on a second, let me find it. The manual one came with this one. Okay. Let me show you what you do with this. And it's actually really nice and very civil. This is a USB plug-in. That's it. So when you get the manual one, if any of you ordered the manual one, not the new TTL one, which has the built-in receiver, this one, all you do, you pop it out, pop it in. Hold on, let me get this out of the way. It's really easy. And then you just, come on. Don't make me look bad in front of my friends. Okay, here we go. So, this is what comes with it. And this was the 433 gigahertz receiver. So, you got to know, and I'm going to come back a little bit to get a little more comfortable. You got to know that if you are getting the manual one, the older one, which, by the way, the special has been the same price, $439. I'm sorry, $349 for the TTL version. I went and got one, and a lot of people did too. But you don't have to worry about this because I don't have it yet, but I can almost guarantee you, you're getting the built-in receiver that is already 244. So this, or 2.4, sorry. This is, though, if you have the manual, all you have to do is to go out and buy, and I think it's $19. You go out and buy this new receiver here, and it is called the XTR16. This is the model number. So this is what you need. and it will let you talk to all the other lights. So you just have to switch this over. And they were thinking forward. They were thinking that we're going to change frequencies or something. So they made this really nice little, you pop it out, you pop it in, and it's $19. Don't quote me, but I think it's $19. There we go. So I'm ready to go. Anyway, it's a little hassle because it's on the side, and it could come off. Every so often I have to make sure it's seated there. But I'm not going to go into the full functionality today of these lights because I'd be here forever. Each of these lights has a tutorial out there by great guys. So you just got to come up with the right channels and the right grouping. So that is something to think about. And again, I'm just going to show you that, and I get a hard time from people. Why did you buy this expensive, this high-powered light, and you put a diffuser panel on it? Well, to be honest with you, oh, you know what? I should show you about the bare bulb too. Okay, really easy to unscrew this, and there we go, man. It's just, you can do bare bulb. I don't do bare bulb, so I really can't say. But I know that people do bare bulb for 360-degree light coming out. And if anybody really has any information on bare bulb, please share it, because I don't do bare bulb. But with that said, I'm just going to put back my diffuser, which I'm losing a little bit of light power, but that's okay. And anyway, so I want to continue on this tangent of the 360. Oh no, this isn't it. Here we go. Oh no, here we go. This one, got a couple of extra cables over here. This light, I will say, the disadvantage between this light, and even this light, this has an external battery. So I'm going to tell you that it is bigger, heavier, and it's been out here for you to see, but here it is. Now this is, I will say something, this is my Cheetah battery I bought for my Quantums 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and it still works fantastic. Thank you, Edward at Cheetah. These are great. And this light has a battery plug-in. So it is a little bit of a hassle, and it is a little bit of extra weight. I will admit to that, but honestly, I am not even going to say anything about it other than get a Streaklight 360 and be happy because of the price and the weight and the size. I can still, I'm going to do this. Oh, and I'm going to, okay, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Didn't want to do this yet. All of you people that have bought the Streaklight 360 are going, what am I going to do with my battery? Well, here it is what you do with your battery. I have this made, I got this off of Cheetah, and you can go to cheetahstand.com. Edward, the owner of Cheetah, is the best guy. And I honestly have only bought the equipment I bought from Adorama because of price, nothing else. Edward has 100% satisfaction in any support issues. And I apologize, by the way. I know I've got some questions here, so I'm going to go over them. But I want to show you what I can do with this light, where when I said it is between this and this, now this I will go into later. I cannot do light on a stick. I personally do light on a stick all the time. And it is something that I can still, being an old guy and having bad shoulders, literally serious issues. I love the clamp here because I can just put it there and it stays really, really steady. Here you go. There you go here. Anyway, so it has an external battery, which I will admit is a bit more weight. And it's something that I'm sure in a few years I'll be worried about. But I will say, man, and I just pop my light up a little bit, and I have got my camera ranger over here. I don't know if you can see me, but I am going out to the side with this whole light on my stand, and I posted what stands I use, the Manfrotto BACs. They're great. Thank you, Martin Beebe, for pointing that out. But I can put this out and extend it, no problem. So I highly recommend this light, where I can't do that with this light. This light is just, the 600 is just too heavy. So I couldn't even imagine doing it. And I will say that this is a little better. I will use this if I go up into the upstairs of a house. And again, this is a real estate related video. If I'm going up to an upstairs and I know that they're all smaller rooms, I will just bring this light, because this is a little bigger and a little heavier. But again, I am putting it out there and no problem. So I recommend getting the clamp, and I can actually, if you send me a message, or I can put it on the show notes, I can put it out which model it is, because you can find it on cheetah.com, cheetahlight.com. Anyway, or Cheetah Stand, I'm sorry, cheetahstand.com. Sorry, Edward. Anyway, so I think I've kind of talked about this. So are there any questions about, I haven't seen any questions. Okay. Are there any questions about any particular lights, specific lights? Let me know. So I'm going to keep going. Anyway, so I've got the Streaklight 360 out of the way, because to me it is the best. It is, oh, I forgot. Wait. Someone emailed me about, they had pocket wizards and they wanted to use them with a Streaklight, because they have everything in your system is pocket wizards. Or if you have Yongnuo, everything is Yongnuo, or everything is pocket wizards. So how do you make it work? Well, here we go. This is for you. Let's see here. Okay, down here is the opening, and all of these lights, every one, bam, 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 come with an ability to plug in a multitude of cables. The Streaklight 360 I have, which is a manual, has either a, try and show you what it is. I think it's a PC. I'm not sure which connection this is, but it is, there we go. This is the connection it has. And on one end, I think it's a, gosh, I want to say, but I'm afraid I'm going to get it screwed up, so I don't know which connection it is. These are very common for photography. But this will work in your Streaklight, because it's going to go, if you have Yongnuo, it has a PC, which this is PC. So you go PC to, I think it's not 1/8 inch or 1/4 inch anyway. If somebody knows, please join me. And this just plugs in to the Streaklight. And then your trigger on your camera, the Yongnuo 560TX, I think it is, I forget now. But this is a Yongnuo 603. And the 603 is just a simple trigger. Now, the bummer is, it will not do any type of remote control. You cannot change the speed. You cannot change anything from a Yongnuo trigger to a Godox Streaklight or Cheetah light. So that's why you want to just give up the Yongnuo, give up the Nikon, give up everything. Just go all to Godox. And I always say, if I was still with Yongnuo, and if I didn't have bigger lights, like this, I would still be Yongnuo. I promise you I had, not a lot invested, but I had 5, 6 lights I sold. And I found that the importance of everything working, and I'm going to talk to you people that have bought the Rove light. The Rove light is a great light, great price point. It's about the same power as this, but it cannot work together on the 2.4 frequency. And I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. So I decided, I actually bought a Streaklight, a Rove light, and I went to the AD600 because I could not remotely control the power from the same trigger, which is either one of these or this. There we go. Anyway, so long story short is I decided to just I'm in this real estate game for the long run, and my day is too important to me to worry about having 2 controllers. Yes, when you get this light, if you get a manual, you get a separate controller. It can work, and it can work with other receivers. But I'll be honest with you, just go get everything you want, and trust me, you're going to be happier in the long run. So I really believe in going on the same frequency and getting everything across the board. Okay? So anyway, I think I've gone through my Streaklight. Let me put it over here so you guys can see it. And also, I've shown this many times, but I love these BAC stands because I can make it like this for a light on a stick, and then I just can pull out the feet like that, and it is just great. These stands stack. I'm not going to go in it. It's not a tutorial on stands. Anyway, so let me go into this. Oh, man. Oh, God. Okay. It's not that bad. It's the AD600. Here it is with the screen. Here it is on the other side. And you can find all the information you need on it. I have put a reflector just to protect the bulb. I used a end flash. I had end flash. I had bad luck with my end flash. I bought it used, but then I couldn't control it remotely. And that really affected me because I don't hold this up. And actually I'm not going to get into this because you can find out all this information online. But I didn't want to walk around with this thing because it's just too heavy. And the end flash had a nice strap on it and everything, but I can't hold it. So I have it on a big 12-foot stand. Goes 12 feet up because when I use this thing, it's for 2-story buildings that I need a lot of light. Or a recent shoot I did, I just needed a lot of power to bounce off of wood. So anyway, I'm just going to say that I really, really like this better for several reasons. And one of those reasons are, if you have an end flash, this is where the power is. This is where the controls are. This one, it's on the side. Okay, it may not seem like a big difference, but if anybody has an end flash, they'll notice. If you have your end flash on a stand or somewhere or anywhere, and it's here, for me to see what the power is, I've got to go underneath it to see. I don't need to go into this because if you have an end flash, you know what I'm talking about. So for me, it's critical and so great to have the power on the side because my light is pointing up 100% of the time. The other thing too is this connector, this stand, this mount, it goes straight up and down, where the end flash would not go any more than this, and I had to use another connector to make it go straight up. I don't want my flash pointing up, pointing back. Pointing forward, pointing back. I want it pointing straight up, and there we go. So I'm not going to bash end flash. It was a great product, and I personally feel the build is far better with the Godox 600. This is the manual 600. Now, they also make a TTL, and I don't really need a TTL flash. I am looking forward to my TTL 360 because I can use that for weddings and such. I only use this for big rooms, and I now bring it in on many shoots because